Well, hello everybody and welcome back to Winter 89 Colors. I am Winter or Melissa, and today I thought that I would participate in a tag, the mid-year book freakout tag. I've seen this floating around. No, I was not tagged by anyone in particular, but you know what, it looked fun, so I thought I would do that for you in case you were interested to know a little bit more about my coloring career as of this year. So let's just dive right into it. I don't really have any disclaimers, so moving forward. So how many pages have I colored so far in 2024? I did the math and it turns out I have done 111, which I think is a pretty good number. That averages me at like 15 a month, so that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. How many books have I colored in 2024? That would be 97. So I have done a few duplicates, but I've colored in a lot of different books throughout this journey. Wow, that is a lot. It seems impossible. I don't know if that's the right number, but maybe it is. Who knows? Anyway, so my favorite completed pages for 2024. Okay, so I do have this all ready and set up. Favorite completed pages. All right, so I did 3 that I'm absolutely in love with in the same book, and that is Worlds Within Worlds. 3, and I'm so proud of each and every one of them. Everybody knows that Kirby's books can be challenging, so I'm almost always proud of the way that Kirby's pictures turn out because he gives you such a perfect base to work with that I find it kind of hard to mess up. They're very intimidating because it's a lot to do and it takes a long time, but ultimately the results are always stunning. So the first one in here that I did that I'm really proud of is this turtle page, or tortoise page. I like the way it turned out. It's very dark, very gloomy, exactly what I was going for. So the only part about it that I'm a little iffy on is the background, and that's because I did it with ink. And I'm terrible at using ink. I think I'm giving up on using ink. For some reason, I am not good at it. I've tried it a few times and it's just not working for me. So I may just completely take that out of my repertoire. Who knows? All right, so the background is ink. It's like some like Michael's brand stamping ink. I don't know. Maybe that's the problem because I can't afford distressed ink, especially now. But the rest is all done in Prismacolor. No, wait. I think there's a little bit of Artex in here. Yeah, I think some of the greens are Artex, but the most of it is done with Prismacolor. I know the whole house is done in Prismacolor. So this was a while ago, several months ago that I did this. No, that's right. I based the turtle and the ground with soft pastel. That's what it was. I remember doing this and I remember being like, oh my God, that's so bright after I based it. But it ended up turning out pretty good. So I based it in soft pastel and then I went over it with my Prismacolors to darken it up because man, this was a really bright green when I first put it on. I was really scared that I had ruined it, but nope, I was able to darken it up. So yeah, so that's the first one that I really loved. The next one, I'll put this page in here. The next one is this big old volcanic camel. Big double page spread. A lot of work went into this one. It took me actually surprisingly less time than I expected, but so the sky is soft pastel. And I like the way that it actually turned out, kind of fuzzy, kind of like blotchy. I think that kind of adds to the effect of it. The water was done with, this was like one of my first attempts with Albrecht Dürer, and I got a little heavy with the water. As you can see, it kind of leaked through on both sides, but nothing I can't fix later. All the fish in the water were done with Prismacolors or Jelly Roll Metallics. And the camel itself was done with Polychromos. And the mountains, because I wanted them gray and I wanted lots of different grays for the smoke and mountains, I went with Prismacolor because they have the best grays. Let's be honest, right? But yeah, so that's my volcanic camel and I'm really proud of him. The final one that I'm really proud of, again with the putting your pages in there, The next one that I'm really proud of is, I call it the Dutch page. It's the Dutchest page I've ever seen. It's got all these succulents, these bulbs with the windmills. Whew, took a long time. So the background of everything is pan pastel, so the green and the blue, pan pastel. That's how I started the whole page. And then polychromos for all of these succulent plants, and actually the windmills as well. Everything is polychromos. It was a labor of love. Doing this in polychromos obviously took a bit of energy, especially since I wasn't thoroughly used to them at that point. Polychromos are a little bit newer to my collection. And then in order to achieve the glossy glass look, I used a gloss acrylic medium over top. You can see the difference. I didn't put it here to try and create that differential. It's on both sides. I think it turned out pretty good. Pretty proud of that. Alrighty, so those were the first three. I am also proud of, strangely, I don't usually consider myself super proud of ones in a Camellia Angel Copas because her images are so simple and I'm generally using just some alcohol markers, but this one, I really like the way it turned out for some reason. And that is this 3 hut page. I love the way that this background turned out. I drew in this little sunset using a compass and, you know, used Prismacolors to blend out that nice gradient and all the shading. And for some reason, I just love looking at this page. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It was based in alcohol marker, but then I used pencils to shade it in just roughly. Love it. All right. Next one is in 50 Prehistoric Miniatures by Camellia Angel Cova. And this one is special to me, not necessarily because of how I colored it, but because of why I colored it. So this was a split buddy with my hubby. And so we each did these separately without looking at each other's, and it turned out, I think, really, really nicely. So this is my half. I basted an alcohol marker. I outlined everything with acrylic pen, and then shaded with Prismacolor. I have glossy accents on her eye. And yeah, I thought, that's how I normally do things. Hubby, on the other hand, used entirely pencil, except for he also used my Jelly Roll glaze to outline his mouse here. So I think he used Artex pencils, if I'm not mistaken. And I thought he did a fantastic, his attempt at shading and everything. Oh, it was just so cool to do something like that with my partner, you know, my best friend. I just thought it was really, really fun and really neat. So that one's special to me. So that definitely makes the pile of faves. And finally, in the Secret Garden, this one I just started on a day when I was just feeling a little blah and I didn't have any inspiration, but I liked the picture. So I just kind of started and I kept rolling with it. It inspired me as I went and I really enjoyed the outcome of it. And that's this wishing well. So this was done, I believe, using polychromos, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was polychromos. All right, so I did polychromos for everything, including the background here. The background out here is soft pastel. The background around the edges is acrylic paint. And then all these little stones down here, I used Jelly Roll glaze to do all these little dots. So they're very textured, like little stones. It turned out really, really cool. So I'm really happy with the way that went. And yeah, I got to keep some of these techniques that I used in here in mind. All right, so that concludes the favorites of the beginning of the year, first half of the year. So next up is question number 4, and that's least favorite pages. Oh boy, I got a few. So my least favorite pages. I'm gonna start with Worlds of Wonder. So this page, I like the way that the aquarium turned out. I like the way that the windmill turned out. Unfortunately, it's the background that killed me. I bought a set of super cheap oil pastels and wanted to do this like rainbow background. And well, you can see what happened. It's nasty. It is not good. I should not have purchased cheap pastels. Like I said, the rest turned out really nice and it looks really fun and colorful and all that. But yeah, that background just ruined it for me. I might eventually come back and maybe black out the entire background and leave just, you know, I'll paint over it with acrylic paint or something. But for now, it's a reminder that those pastels maybe need to go in the garbage. Or maybe I just suck at using them. Who knows? All right, so next up is in Christmas Mandalas. This was an absolute disaster, and that's this page. I liked it when I originally did it, but I decided to do an experiment because I wanted to see if I could seal in all this glitter that I had and everything. So I used satin glazing liquid and I went over it. I don't think I need to explain what happened. It melted everything and yeah, not super great. So anyway, and my final least favorite is it Mein Reister Shiropa by Reed Berman, and that was this picnic page. This was an extremely long time whip for me. And so I was really, really proud of it up until the very end. I was having a good day, but slowly as it went on, I got worse and worse and worse. And by the time I was finished, all these little food things, I hate coloring food. Any of you who have been here know that I hate coloring food. By the time I got done, all these little food things, I just wanted to be done with it. Just wanted it over with. So I made the mistake of, instead of setting it aside and doing it later, I just was like, I'm just gonna finish it. And so I used glitter gel pens to color in the birds, which I think completely takes away from the whole picture. The whole picture was done with Albrecht Dürer activated, and then a few like gel pen accents. And it was looking great, soft, pale, springy. And then I just throw in this glitter and it just destroyed it. Just completely took away from it, and mistakes were made. So I am not happy with that at all. So yeah, lesson learned. Put it away when you're tired. All right, so that's all of my least favorites. Question number 5. Most colored in books. Where are you? Okay, so my most colored in books are these two. And that's because they are both project books. I have done, let's see. I had a thing, there we go, got it. So I have done 10 in Welcome to the Village this year, because this is the one, as I'll say later, it's a project book. I want to get it done this year. And Ivy and the Inky Butterfly is also a project book. I've done 6 in it this year, and I'm just working front to back with this one. I just want to keep going with it. I want to get as far as I can. I know I'm not going to finish it anytime soon. It's huge. For any of you who have seen it, it's a massively thick book. Like, if I compare it to, here's Worlds Within Worlds by Kirby, and here's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. Like, it's almost double the size. So it's pretty huge, but I enjoy working on it, and it's kind of just a nice, relaxing, simple book that I don't feel a lot of pressure on for some reason. So I enjoy working in it, and same with Welcome to the Village. I've got a lot done in here. It's halfway, if not more. And it's just simple, really easy characters. They're video game characters, so they don't have to be perfect. So yeah, those are my most colored in books of the year so far. Next is the most anticipated book coming out this year. I would have to say there's only two really that I can even think of. And that's The Shooting Star or Starfall by Maria Trolle, and Magical Worlds by Joanna Basford. I would love to have both of those. Right now I am on a book buying ban because I am very broke. I have been off work a lot for, I would say, almost half the year. I've been off work due to physical and mental health concerns. And I recently had to retire from my job because of those concerns, and I was just continually being an unreliable employee, unfortunately. So I decided to gracefully retire rather than forcing them to have to let me go. I figured I should try and hold some dignity together. So I have applied for disability on the advice of my doctor. So that's currently in the works, but I have no money right now. So there's going to be no new supplies, new books, or anything like that. But I can dream, right? I can dream of Shooting Star and Magical Worlds. Those are both beautiful books that I hope to come across eventually. Have I tried, and so question number 7 is, have I tried any new techniques this year? Oh my God, I have tried everything this year. This year has been the year of anticipation. I don't even want to list everything because I don't know. Like, I've tried things. First of all, I tried diamond painting for the first time. I tried oil pastels for the first time in earnest. I tried watercolor pencils. I've tried acrylic paint. You name it. I have tried it all, basically. Anything I haven't tried is because I can't afford the supply right now. So I've been enjoying experimenting this year. It has been super fun. Next question is number 8. Do I have any purchase regrets this year as far as books go? There's only one really that I can think of. Immediate regret the next day when I bought it, and that's this book, The Night Voyage. I bought it because it was on the sale shelf, and I've seen other people have it on their channels, and I just picked it up on a whim without even really looking at it, to be honest with you. I just went off the name and the price, and I was like, yeah, I know this coloring book. It's going to be great. But upon looking through it later, I realized it's really not my style. I don't see a ton in here that I would want to color. Yeah, this was an impulse purchase that was really unnecessary, and I don't think I should have done it. But I'm going to keep it in the collection for a little while. You never know. I'll keep flipping through it and see if anything sparks me in the next year. If I'm still really struggling, you know, maybe by this time next year I will get rid of it, or even earlier if I really feel like it. But I'm going to give it a chance to sit on the shelf and brew, because sometimes when something sits long enough like that, you can pull the inspiration out of it. So that's The Night Voyage. Question number 9 I've already answered, and that's which book do I plan to finish this year? And that is Welcome to the Village. That's the only one that I really plan to finish. I have so many books and only a few done in pretty much each of them, so there's no way I'm going to finish a book this year other than maybe that one, unless I buckle down and do like a page a day for the next 6 months. So number 10, any uncolored books that you want to touch before the end of the year? Yes, that is, I have a pile of them here. So I didn't pull out all of them, but I pulled out a few. So I want to finish, or at least touch, The World of Color by Kirby Rosanes. I do have a whip. Maybe I should pull that out. I should pull that out, shouldn't I? Yes, okay, so World of Color is technically untouched. It's still got its washi tape on there. I use washi tape to mark my untouched. And I do have a whip in here, but I don't have anything else touched. I've had this long time whip for months and months and months, maybe since last year. I started it off really strong, but for some reason I'm struggling to get back to it. So I want to try to finish this page in this book this year. If I can, I'll be so proud of myself. But yeah, so I want to finish a page in here so I can take that washi tape off. The next is World of Flowers. I'm not going to show it to you. It's way over on my shelf. But World of Flowers by Joanna Basford. It's been sitting on my shelf for a really long time. It's a beautiful book. But for some reason, I just haven't touched it. And I feel like it's because I have so much going on in her other books that, like, there's no point in diving into a new book when I've got so much going on in the other books, but that's silly. That's not how life works, right? So that book deserves love, so I'd like to start a page in there. That would be nice. These ones I don't think are going to be a problem to get started in. These are other ones that I want to get touched this year, and that's Matchstick Mouse Autumn. That's coming up this year. We've got Matchstick Mouse Christmas, Teresa Goodrich's Country Christmas, Home for the Holidays, Christmas Gnomes, and Enchanted Christmas. All of these obviously are a bit seasonal. I am seasonal. I have a hard time coloring Christmas or autumn or summer, whatever season it is. I have a hard time doing it out of season. It just feels weird to me. So as these seasons come along, I hope that these can help me lower my untouched number. So, question number 11. The books at the top of my wish list. I don't have any specific books, but I have artists. So number 1 is Hannah Carlon. I only own one Hannah Carlon book. One. I know, right? Like, it's crazy. Out of 100 books, I only have one Hannah Carlon, and it's Grains of Gold. I wanted to at least get one of hers into my collection, so I figured that Grains of Gold would be a good one to do because it is the compilation book, so at least I get a taste of all of her different, flavors, should we say. I'd also like to continue my Maria Trolle collection. I only have 3 of her books. I have Botanicum, and I have Nightfall, and Twilight Garden. So 3 of her older books I have. I don't have anything newer by her, so it would be nice to add to that, again, should I suddenly magically come into money. I was thinking R.J. Hampson. I only have 2 of his books as well. I have A Frog's Tale and Serenity. Serenity was kindly gifted to me by my dear friend Emily. And I would also like maybe some Kanoko Igusa books or other Asian artist books. The only Asian artist that I can think of that I have is Eerie. I have the Romantic Country Tale 1 and 2, but I don't have any of the rest of the beautiful Asian community, Kanoko Igusa and all these other wonderful Asian artists and titles that are out there. It's just so hard to get a hold of here in Ontario, Canada, I find, because it's so far away and very little of it comes into Amazon Canada. Getting things from Amazon Japan or Amazon Korea or like wherever it is that you need to get to, the shipping is just astronomical. It would cost me more on shipping than it would on the books. So, I mean, again, if magically I come into money or whatever this, the situation happens, I would love to add to that collection, but seems unlikely for now. But again, one can dream, right? Question number 12 is, what coloring supplies are at the top of your wish list? Well, I do have a few that I've been really hoping and praying for that I absolutely cannot afford, of course, but I would love to have a set of Inktense. I see so many people using those and it looks so wonderful, beautiful, intense, fun. I love working with my Albert Duers, so I figured that working with Inktense would also be super fun and similar to that. Obviously a little different, but you know what I'm saying. Neocolor 2s. Oh my goodness, I would love to try some Neocolor 2s. I've thought so many times when I'm at the art store picking up replacements for my Prismas or my Polys, I would love to just grab a couple of those and try them out. I see Karen from My Colorful Country Life constantly using them in backgrounds and other artists as well, and it's just like, oh my goodness. They look phenomenal. I would love to try them. I this year purchased a few pan pastels, just opened stock early this year, and I have been loving using them. I only have 6 colors at the moment, and they're all like the lightest pastel colors. I'd love some more intense colors in the pan pastels. I would love some Tule Art paint pens. I love outlining, particularly in Camellia Angel Kova's books and similar. I love outlining the illustrations in Tule Art paint pens to create that more the less rigid feel and all that kind of thing. And I feel like if I had the Tule Arts as opposed to cheaper brands, maybe I could include them in my more intricate pictures as well. I see Shelly from you know, Shell's coloring journey. She does beautiful things with Tule Arts, and they're just amazing. Sorry. And I just need some more washi tape. Honestly, I have some really, really cheap dollar store washi tape, and that's about it. And it doesn't work very well. I mean, it does its purpose, but it's not very pretty. It's not very fun. Kind of hard to work with. So eventually I'd love to get some more. I have a couple of samples of Scotch brand washi tape that I got at the Pride Festival last year, and those ones are really, really nice. But I don't want to use them too much because I don't want them to run out, because, you know, I can't replace them right now. So I use them very sparingly, and they're really nice. But I've seen so many other colorists using beautiful washi tapes that they got from Temu or Etsy or wherever it is that they get their beautiful washi tapes. And I would love to have a collection of washi tapes like I see those beautiful people have. So yeah, I have a pretty large list of things that I really, really want, you know, hopefully this year. But again, it's things I can live without. They're not needs, they're wants. So I guess we'll just leave it at that. That's enough whining from me, eh? Next question is question 13. What are the most used pencils this year? And that's an easy one because I only have 5 sets of pencils in total. I have Prismas, Albert Duers, Polychromos, Artex, and a 72 set of colors. That's all I own. I mean, I shouldn't say all. That's a lot of pencils. Like, like it's like 300 just in the first 3, and then, no, more than 300. It's like 450 in the first, you know, 3 that I mentioned. And then, so I'm really lucky to be blessed to have all of those sets, and that's wonderful. But the most used are definitely my Prismas, my Polys, and my Albert Duers. I struggle with Artex pencils. I'm not a big fan. Everybody says they love them, but I just can't get used to them. I don't know, something about them. I actually prefer the Colors to the Artex. I don't know why that is. It's crazy, but I have a hard time with the Artex. Anyway, yeah, so it's a tie between my Polys, my Albert Duers, and my Prismas. Next is my favorite YouTube channels. I compiled a list, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Now, this is in no particular order whatsoever, okay? It's just as they popped into my head, which does not in any way designate, you know, order of priority. It's simply probably order of last seen pop up, you know? But, so I'm gonna list all these below, but I'm just gonna go through the list really quickly. I've got Geordie Colors, Coloring Bumblebee, Happy Catastrophe, My Colorful Country Life, eArt Studios, Elm Colors, Dana's Coloring Obsession, Disney Megs, My Starseed, Coloring with K, Sank Colors, Tammy Colors 2, Christina's Art Corner, Coloring Chemist, and Shell's Coloring Journey. And I'm sure there's more, so if I missed you, I am so sorry. Like I said, I just popped those off the top of my head. You're probably still in my heart, even if I didn't mention you, so feel free to drop a comment and scold me if you feel like you've been neglected, and I'll be happy to make sure it never happens again. But yeah, all of those channels I watch and I see all the time, and I am just so happy to have them in my life. They are my support, they are my inspiration, and I love you all. Thank you all for being with me through all the journeys I've been through. So the final question is number 15. Do we have any more plans for 2024? And the number one plan is taking care of myself. Obviously, I've been struggling with my health, physical and mental, and I've got to make that the priority. I've got to make that my full-time job right now. I'm, working on getting into lots of different programs to help me, some outpatient, therapy, physical and mental, and all kinds of things trying to help me out. So as I get into those programs, I want to make sure I'm consistent and hardworking in them so that I can get better for myself, for my family, and for all of you. If we're talking more specifically about coloring, I would like to focus more on filming. I want to get more films out to you. I want to, film more of me actually coloring, because I struggle to do that. I don't know why, I just worry that the content is not worth showing you, or maybe I'm just worried about how much I have to edit it. I'm not sure, but it intimidates me. But I want to try and focus on getting more videos out to you that are not just me standing here talking, because that's more than half of my videos right now. And finally, I want to get back into buddy colors. As I told everybody in my last video in my completed pages for June, I'm kind of backing off on buddy colors just for the moment, just because I don't feel reliable right now. I feel like I'm leaving people behind. I'm, you know, disappearing for weeks at a time when my mental or physical health is out to lunch. I just disappear and I can't communicate with my buddies very well, and I feel bad about that. So I don't want to make any major commitments to anybody at this time. So I'm just kind of backing off. I'm still happy to chat. I'm still happy to talk about maybe future buddy colors. If anybody wants to chat about them, throw some ideas at me, that's totally fine. But I don't really want to set anything in stone right now until I feel a little bit more stable. So that is all 15 questions in the hashtag, which of course will be posted down below. I will post all the questions and everything else. But other than that, thank you for joining me. It has been a pleasure talking to all of you, and it is so wonderful to hear from all of you in the comments, and everybody that subscribe to me, anybody that follows me on Instagram, and anybody that comments or likes is just such a great help. And I love you all, and I appreciate you. And remember, you are seen, you are heard, and you matter. Enjoy your coloring and have a great rest of your day.